going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into OMFG Wrestling. My name is Sarah, and just to do a quick recap, last week on Raw, Paige returned, along with two new additions to the female roster. Those two women being Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Now, Paige led these girls on a literal rampage, destroying every female except Dana, Asuka, Nia, and Alicia Fox. So, last night on Raw, Absolution, which is the name that Paige has dubbed her faction, was supposed to take on the three women that they had attacked. The first three women that Absolution had attacked, which were Bayley, Sasha, and Mickie James. Those three girls were supposed to be in a tag team match, a 3-on-3 tag team match against Absolution. Well, that didn't happen. Sasha Banks ended up being the only female in her team that made it to the ring. Meanwhile, we find out that her teammates, Bayley and Mickie James, are injured backstage. One can only assume that Absolution had a hand in that. And we see Paige come out, and she's with her teammates, and they're basically baiting Sasha, asking her, oh, where's your teammates? And in which case we find out that they're injured backstage, and they surround her, Shield style. And Paige then asks Sasha to pledge her allegiance to Absolution. Basically join her team or face the consequences. And Sasha does not pledge her allegiance to Paige. And one by one, these girls put their finishers on Sasha, and they leave her with absolutely no help. She's in the ring alone, and no one comes to even help her out. And these girls are proving to be major forces that no one wants to mess with. And so I can't say that I blame them. With three girls who have so much to prove, they're definitely making a statement, that's for sure. Asuka and Dana also had a match. Now, I mention this because it plays into this Absolution story. Now, if you guys remember, Dana and Asuka actually have a long history. I think it's a rivalry maybe 2 years long, where Dana was the first competitor to face Asuka down in NXT. And now we have another match. They've had plenty of matches after that, and they have another one tonight. And Dana says that she's been studying, that she's been going over tapes of Asuka's, trying to figure out her weakness. Now, Asuka makes it to the ring, and they play this tape of Dana professing that she's finally found out Asuka's weakness. And Dana says this.
Asuka likes to say, nobody's ready for Asuka. Wrong. I've been watching our match from last week over and over again, and I found the biggest hole in your game. Asuka, sweetie, you're a slow starter. And tonight, when that bell rings, I'm going to be all over you from the start. If I were you, I wouldn't even blink an eye.
Now, I can only imagine that's not going to sit well with Asuka. I don't think she would appreciate anyone trying to say that she's got any weakness, because as any competitor, you would want to make yourself out to seem completely indestructible, right? As Asuka has been built up to be completely indestructible. I mean, she hasn't even been defeated. So Dana makes her way to the ring. She makes it there, and the bell rings, and the match is on. And as soon as the match starts, it's over when Asuka gets Dana within like a millisecond into an armbar and ends the match. And I have to say, she's already set a record as the longest undefeated competitor in the WWE. But now I think maybe she set another record as like the fastest match in history or winning in the fastest time ever, however you would state it. But she's definitely showing herself to be undeniably powerful and undeniably a force to be reckoned with. So, what does Absolution have to say about this, right? Dana, she goes away in defeat, and Absolution take over. They surround her again like they did Sasha, only this time it doesn't end in the same way. Paige doesn't ask Asuka to pledge her allegiance, and they have this kind of stare down, and I was waiting for them to pounce on her. I really thought that it could have went one or two ways. Asuka ended up with the same fate as Sasha, or she could have just destroyed all three of them. And I thought it was going to be one or the other. And it wasn't. Asuka just steadily just exits the ring, and, you know, after Paige and her have that stare down, and she just walks away. And it kind of left me feeling a little disappointed. I mean, again, I don't fault the girl. I mean, 3-on-1 isn't something that most people will go into willingly, so I don't blame her for walking away. But again, I mean, they have built her as this, you know, she's been built up to be, you know, an undefeated mega star. So I don't know, I guess that's why I was expecting her to push Absolution and show them a thing or two, show them not to mess with Asuka, but that didn't happen. But I just have to say, I thought it was brilliant, the way that they showed that clip of Dana saying that she found Asuka's weakness, and then later on in the match, I have to say that clip lasted longer than the match, and that's true. But I really enjoyed that they did that. I feel like Dana always ends up eating her words, and Dana's always, I feel like she's one to verbalize, I guess, how great she is and whatnot, whereas Asuka does not need to do that. She doesn't do that at all, actually. She just goes out there and performs, and without even having to say she's dominant, she is, So it's interesting. I really, really enjoyed the story that the girls were telling. And they always leave us with kind of like cliffhanger, and I'm excited to see what they prepare for us next week. So I was super pleased with how the women were shown. Episode of Raw, I thought it was really great, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So let me know, you guys, down in the comments what you feel about Absolution. How do you feel about this new faction entering the Raw Women's division? Do you think that they're going to come up with a alternative faction? You think that Sasha, Bayley, and Mickie James are going to come together and try to neutralize Absolution? I mean, is there anybody who can stop Absolution? Is there going to be someone who steps up? Is it going to be Nia? Is it going to be Asuka? I mean, I'm really curious to know. So you guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think is going to come from this? Make sure to leave those comments down below. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to continue seeing more videos from me. I would really appreciate it. So I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.